Hey guys, welcome back to Brit's Big Plans. I'm Brit, and today we are going to be doing my Plan With Me video for the week of January 19th, 2026. So before we get started, I want to do a quick little recap of a few changes that I've made. I have this sticker here that my partner got out of one of his Christmas gifts. It's Bigfoot holding a bass, and I really enjoy it, so I stole it and put it in there. On this little flip out that just happened, it's my color coding for my grad school classes, what color of Zig clean color dots that I'm using. And then I tipped in this beautiful vellum from the Coffee Monsters Co. I have no other use for it, so I was like, well, why not put it in as a little extra, fun. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I actually am behind on my weather, so I'm going to pull up the weather really quick for the days that I have not done here. So I need to catch up on yesterday and Thursday, so we'll do that right now. January 15th. We had a high temperature of, we were in the 40s, so I need to grab my little blue bonnet. And I'm using the Weather Underground. The website is Wonderground, but wunderground.com for my weather. And then yesterday was also in the 40s, so another dot like that. Okay, caught up there. I have a little catching up to do here. I missed a day. So I was doing so good on my steps and my exercise minutes, and then my treadmill screwed up. So the problem is that I can't get the tread to center. I can get it to go back in the center, but then every time I walk on it, it slowly goes to the side, and that's going to cause it to shred on the edge of the tread, which I obviously do not want. So I'm on a hiatus from treadmill. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to what I'm doing. But in the meantime, I'm still going to track my steps and my number of minutes of exercise. Today, I have a Meta Quest, one of the Meta headset things, and I'm going to play some Beat Saber. So we will not be having 0 minutes of exercise today. I'm just not there yet. Yes, today is Saturday. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to catch up on these things. My little habit trackers. I did drink diet soda only yesterday. I had veggies with dinner. I had my water, although yesterday was a lot less water than I have been. So I'm going to work on making sure I stay hydrated today. Okay, so next order of business, we're going to take a look at last week that we planned. And, I mentioned in my previous video that I'm just really in favor of a little bit of privacy, but doing that while editing the video is very tedious. So here I have things covered with torn Post-it notes. I didn't add a whole lot. I did add some groceries and weekly to-dos over here, and that was pretty much all that I added. My tutoring did get moved from Tuesday to Thursday, so I moved that. And then I proceeded to not check things off, so. Before I flip the page, I do need to update my weather because I only have the weather through yesterday, which means that it's almost too late to get today's weather, which is not good. So I'm going to do that really quick. That way I can have today and tomorrow. And then when we go to plan this week, I will have, I'll do maybe Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so today we've got partly cloudy, sunny business. And then tomorrow, I'm going to put a cloud, but it's not going to be cloudy. They're calling for wintry weather and rain. So I'm going to, do a little edit here on that. All right, so today we have a high temperature of 57 and a low of 39. And then tomorrow, there's my snow and rain little additions. High of 43, low of 21. Okay, so we'll let that dry for a second. I don't have a crazy week coming up this week, I don't think. It's the first week of grad school work, so having due dates, so that's not fun. I'm still working on getting in the groove of that, and to be completely honest, my professor has not been the most helpful human. Sorry, I'm looking for there it is, my blotter paper. My professor has not been the most helpful human for one of my classes because the instructions are unclear on a lot of things. So I'm going to give it an attempt and hope for the best. All right, now that's dry. Monday, I've been using the Coffee Monsters Co. journaling prompts. However, I'm not using them all in order because I don't like all of them. I immediately got the ick when I got to the prompt that was like, what would you do if you found a hair in your food? Absolutely not. We're done with that. We will not be doing that business. Anyways, so I've been picking and choosing, and Monday was, what animal frightens you? And the answer is spiders, because who does not agree with that? I did Monday and Tuesday's layouts at the same time, and then too late realized that if I did the layout that I had been doing on the days that I have my grad school classes, I don't have a place to write them because they occur here. So I put a little note, tape down note sticker from the Coffee Monsters Co. here to write it down. That's what this is. Note to self, don't do that anymore. And then the next day, I did better. So here's my class. I had a Walmart order. There we go. Now, what that means is I don't have a space for gratitude, but that's okay. I was not doing a great job of filling that out anyways. Big thing that happened on this day was the Verizon wireless outage. And I just want to say, number one, I didn't even realize that there was an outage for half a day. And then number two, the text message that they sent out, because if you don't have Verizon or you're not the name on the account, you don't know that they're giving a $20 credit to everybody. So, but the text message that they sent saying that was just hilariously emotional, in my opinion. It's yesterday we let you down. I don't know. It just seemed really dramatic. So I was entertained by that. But huge Verizon outage there. Not a lot going on except for it's my really long work day. Normally I have labs from 1 to 4, but there's another lab in that room from 1 to 4. So we have to have that lab from 5 to 8 instead of 1 to 4 like normally. So I got to work about 8 o'clock and left work after 8 o'clock. So that was terrible. And yeah, this was yesterday. Our fridge is dying. I think it's got a Freon leak. That's not fun. But yeah, that was yesterday, and today is Saturday, so this is where I'm at currently. All right, I'm going to do, just like I did last week, the pens that are inked up this week, but nothing has changed. Okay, that's a lie. During last week's video, I had only these, and then I added my Franklin-Christoph. So, including the added Franklin-Christoph, there's no extra ones, but I'm going to write them down. I'm going to get in the habit of doing it every week, and then if something does change, then I already have the place that I'm going to put it. So, we are going to film that right now, and then we'll move on into the weekly plan. So, okay, so I have finished my list of this week's pen and ink combinations. Like I said, the only one that's different from last week is the Franklin-Christoph, but literally I did my plan with me and went and edited for a bit and then immediately sat down and inked it up. So it didn't even make it to the next day before I had it inked up. So I went ahead and added it. And this is what I'm going through this week with. I'm going to give it another minute or so to dry. I'm going to just, I will cut this piece. I'm going to give it a second to dry, and then we'll come back and plan the week. Alrighty, let's go ahead and flip over to this week. Okay, so I want to use some washi. My washi tape is not super organized. I have this like giant blob of washi here. I'm thinking that we need some school adjacent washi tapes. So there are so many school adjacent washi tapes. Now I'm gonna have to make a choice, and I do not appreciate that. These are all washi tapes from the Coffee Monsters Co. I absolutely love her stuff. Okay, these are the school and school adjacent washi tapes. This one is vertical, so I don't know how well that will work. It's cute, but I'm gonna not use that one. This one looks more like reading. See, the problem is I have so much reading for grad school. Actually, I'm gonna use this one because we've got to-do lists and a calculator that looks like a book, a laptop. I feel like this one best reflects what this week is. And maybe I'll also use some of that skinny, but I'm gonna keep these separate because I might use these on my dailies this week just to kind of continue a theme. Alright, so because this one is thin, I think I'm gonna put it down at the bottom of the page. Let me digging out all my materials over here. I'm gonna put it down at the bottom of the page right above that due date strip. And then I'm gonna run this one along the top of the page up above where the day actually starts. I'm gonna turn it upside down because, as I discovered last week, I can't see the lines from down there. So okay, washi tape is done. Okay, we don't have class on Monday because it's Martin Luther King Day. So I want to make that stand out, but the question is, with what color? Okay, I actually don't know which of these markers works, so I'm gonna do a quick test because I ran into on my Q1 goals page, the marker ran out in like the middle of me writing Q1, so oh, that one's good. Maybe that'll be the one. That one's also good. Boring, we're not going to use that one. I'm thinking, write it in that accents in these. Alrighty, that's done. Now, that means that I'm going to have my Monday, Wednesday, Friday class only 2 days this week, so Wednesday and Friday. That also means that my Monday lab that I'm supposed to have will not be happening, and unfortunately, because that's ridiculous, and just the way the semester lands, I am not going to be starting my Tuesday lab this week either. So I don't have any labs until Thursday again, just like last week. But I do have lectures. So here's... Thursday, again, is going to be my horrible long day. And it's not even like I have short things. I have an hour-and-a-half long lecture. Oh, and that was not a straight line. Well, I have an hour-and-a-half long lecture, and then like 5 hours to wait, and then a 3-hour lab. So that day sucks. Alright, there those are. Other things that I have this week include, I have a virtual meeting on Tuesday. So unfortunately, normally I would not be able to go to like any of these meetings that I really wish I could go to. It's part of a research group that I would really like to be able to participate in, but they seem to always be scheduled when I have lab. However, because I'm keeping Monday and Tuesday on the same lab schedule, that means I can go. So 1:30 on Tuesday, and I'm going to leave those pieces of information a little more private, and then I'm going to mark my classes that I have to go to. Okay, I think this is all that I have for this week. Yeah, those are all of my appointments. Now I am going to go real quick and add Monday and Tuesday's weather so that I can go ahead and have those in there. And both of those days are supposed to be sunny, so that's exciting. Alright, there we have it. Thank you all for joining me on this Plan With Me video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That way you are notified whenever I post a new video. And I hope to see you all here for the next one. Bye!